So on this video, on part 3 of acids and bases, we're going to concentrate a little bit more on bases and how to tell if a chemical compound's a base, how to tell if it's a strong base or a weak base, and then how to use that information in a problem. So on the pH scale, 7 is neutral, less than 7 is an acid, greater than 7 is a base. The further from 7, the stronger the base is. So an 8 or a 9 would be considered a weak base. 13 would be considered a very strong base. Bases are greater than 7 on the pH scale. They have a slippery feel. That's why soap feels slippery. They dissolve fats and oils. They mix with acids to make salt and water. And the way you tell a chemical is a base is that it has OH. So the properties, they're bitter taste, they're corrosive, they feel slippery, they can conduct electricity, they do not react with metals, and if you dip litmus paper into the base, it will turn blue. Your bases are typically used as cleaning agents, soaps, ammonias, along those lines, oven cleaners. Your blood is slightly basic, it's like 7.4, but you look at, does it have OH? If it has OH, then it's going to be a base. So here are just some different examples of bases that you have. Sodium hydroxide is lye soap. Again, you can tell it's a base because it has that OH. Magnesium hydroxide, OH, that is used as an antacid. So an individual that has acid reflux, what you're going to do is when you take an antacid, you're taking a base, and that's going to help neutralize that acid that is too much acid in the stomach. It's going to neutralize that, and it's going to keep from having that acid reflux or that burning of the esophagus from the acid. Aluminum hydroxide is used in deodorants, and ammonium hydroxide, that is used as a cleaning agent in ammonia. Now, naming bases is pretty easy. You're going to name the cation or the element in front, followed by the word hydroxide. So if we look right here, Li is lithium, OH is hydroxide, so we name this lithium hydroxide. We have aluminum, OH hydroxide. And so very straightforward, very easy. However, when you are writing your formulas, when you write out your formulas, you are going to have to go back and check your charges. Lithium has a +1, OH has a -1, crisscross. Aluminum has a +3 from the periodic table. OH has a -1, so I'm going to have to put the OH in parentheses, crisscross. You always have to go back and crisscross to write your formulas correctly. Now, if you'll remember from the previous video, to be able to tell a strong acid from a weak acid, I had you list those on your Fat Daddy. In order to tell a strong base from a weak base, what you're going to do is you're going to look at the first element, and you're going to determine, is that first element in group 1 or 2 from the periodic table. Okay, so I've got sodium hydroxide. The hydroxide is OH. Sodium, I'm going to look up and see that sodium is right here. This is group 1, this is group 2, so it is a strong base. Okay, I'm going to come over here and look up barium hydroxide. Okay, when I look up barium hydroxide, I'm going to find that barium is right here. It's in group 1 or 2, so it's a strong base. If I was to look up something like ammonium hydroxide, okay, now ammonium hydroxide is written as NH3OH. Now, when I look at ammonium hydroxide, ammonia is not in group 1 or 2, so this right here is not a strong base. It would be a weak base. So if the first element is in group 1 or 2, it's going to be a strong base. If not, it's going to be a weak base. So again, if we want to be able to tell if it's an acid, a base, or salt, if it begins with H, it's an acid. If it has OH, it's a base. If it doesn't have either, then it's going to be a salt. Now let's look at these right here for a second. And so we're going to look at our first example here. We're going to look at NaOH. Is that strong or weak base? Na's here. This is group 1, group 2, so that's going to be a strong base. We look up CH3OH. This right here is not in group 1 or 2, so that would have to be a weak base. We look up KOH. K is right here, so that's in group 1 or 2. That's going to be a strong base. MgOH2, we're going to look up the Mg. We're looking up over here, we found Mg right here, strong base. Looking at this one right here, NH4OH. Looking over here, I'm not finding an NH4 in group 1 or 2, so that has to be a weak base.